the young, and the restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, you guys. Today is Monday. The sun is actually shining outside, but my brain is completely stuck in the dark, twisted, and honestly terrifying world of Genoa City. I am running on fumes and way too much iced coffee right now, but we absolutely need to talk. Grab a snack and get comfortable because we have a massive mess to unpack today. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin with this one. I am still sitting here staring at my screen, trying to process the sheer level of absolute insanity that just played out on The Young and the Restless. Let's be real for a second. We all know this show loves a good villain team-up. We all know they love to push the boundaries. But what Patty Williams and Matt Clark just did, that is a whole new level of unhinged total chaos. Just blood and sirens and panic everywhere. So let's back up a little bit because my head is spinning. A few episodes ago, we saw Patty Williams playing her twisted little mind games with Jack Abbott. She had that staged photo of Diane Jenkins Abbott in a padded cell. She was blackmailing Jack, basically telling him he had to sleep with her to recreate that magic they had on the yacht years ago if he ever wanted to see his wife again. And Jack was desperate. Jack was terrified, but clearly things did not go the way Patty wanted because Patty and Matt just stabbed Jack. Yes, you heard me. They stabbed Jack Abbott. Just let that sink in for a minute. Jack is bleeding out. And I'm just sitting here screaming at the TV like, what were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well? Patty and Matt fleeing the scene after literally plunging a knife into Jack. It was brutal. It was fast. Short punches of violence. And then they were just gone, running into the night. But here is the thing that really gets me. You would think that after committing attempted murder on one of the most powerful men in Genoa City, these two psychos would just skip town. You would think they would get in a car and drive to Canada or something. But no, they didn't stop. Because this wasn't just a spontaneous crime of passion. They had a plan, a pre-planned, deeply sick, and incredibly calculated scheme that they have clearly been cooking up for a while. They wanted to kidnap Nikki Newman. Why? Nikki? I mean, I get it. Matt hates the Newmans with a burning passion. He has tortured Sharon. He has tortured Nick. He has caused so much trauma for that family. And Patty is just a wild card of resentment and delusion. She wants to inflict fear. She wants to watch the high and mighty Newman family crumble and cry and panic. They wanted to strike at the very heart of Victor Newman's empire, and they knew exactly how to do it. And this is where I start getting really emotional, because what they did to Nikki is just horrific. Let's look at Nikki's current situation. For weeks, she has been suffering from these blinding, agonizing headaches. She has been terrified that she is dying. And what did Victor do? Her loving, devoted husband? He manipulated her. He played the doting caretaker while secretly drugging her and getting her to sign a fake medical power of attorney so he could steal all her Newman Enterprises shares and put them in a trust he controls. Victor has been keeping her heavily sedated so he could liquidate her assets. So Nikki is already completely out of it. She is vulnerable. She is weak. She is practically unconscious half the time, thanks to whatever Victor is pumping into her system to keep her compliant. And then Patty and Matt show up. They sneak into her room and they blindfold her. A thick, heavy blindfold. Nikki is already sedated. She is already confused. and now she can't even open her eyes. She's trapped in the dark. I can't even imagine the sheer terror she must be feeling in whatever brief moments of lucidity she has. Why the blindfold? Why go to that extreme? It's psychological torture. They don't just want to take her, they want to break her. They want her to be completely helpless, completely dependent on them, stumbling in the dark while they play God with her life. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. It is just so dark. And the execution of this kidnapping, pure classic soap opera madness, but terrifyingly effective. Patty and Matt actually had the nerve to disguise themselves as doctors. Matt in a white coat, Patty in scrubs, looking like they belong there, looking like medical professionals who were just transferring a patient. They take this poor, drugged, blindfolded woman and they shove her into a wheelchair. I was literally holding my breath watching this scene, the squeak of the wheelchair wheels echoing in the hallway, Matt pushing the chair with this smug, dead-eyed look on his face, Patty walking beside him, probably humming some creepy tune in her head, and they just roll her right out the door, past the nurses, past the security, past everyone. The absolute audacity of it all is staggering. They roll the great Nikki Newman out like she was a sack of potatoes. And then it gets worse, because they don't just put her in the back seat of a car, they don't buckle her in. They throw her in the trunk of a car. You guys, I actually gasped out loud. They tossed Nikki Newman into the cold, dark, cramped trunk of a car, slammed the lid shut, and drove off into the night. It is so degrading. It is so violent. This is a woman who is already sick, already drugged, and now she is bouncing around in the back of a moving vehicle, blindfolded and terrified. And the fans on social media are absolutely losing their minds right now. My timeline is just a wall of all caps screaming. Half the fans are crying for Nikki, and the other half are pointing out the massive, glaring irony of Victor's situation. Because let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here for a second. Victor Newman thought he was the puppet master. He thought he had everything under control. He was literally looting his own wife's estate before she even took her last breath. He had her isolated. He had her drugged. He thought he was so smart. But Victor's own cruel scheme is exactly what made Nikki so easy to kidnap. If Victor hadn't been keeping her sedated and hidden away to steal her money, maybe she could have fought back. Maybe she would have been alert enough to scream. Maybe Victoria would have been in the room instead of being pushed away by her father. Victor basically gift wrapped his wife for Matt and Patty. And now the Newman family is in full-blown panic mode. The end of the episode was just a masterclass in chaos. The realization that Nikki is gone, the empty bed, the discarded IV lines, Victoria hyperventilating because she already knew something shady was happening with her dad, and now her mother is just vanished. And Victor, Victor, the look on his face when he realized he had been outplayed by Matt Clark and Patty Williams, of all people. He was roaring. He was throwing things. He is calling his security teams. He is calling the police, the sirens, the sound of police sirens wailing through the streets of Genoa City as the screen faded to black. It gave me chills. The whole city is on lockdown. The police are swarming the Abbott mansion where Jack is bleeding out on the floor, and they are swarming the hospital and the ranch looking for Nikki. It is a massive, multi-layered crime scene, and the villains are currently driving down the highway with the Newman matriarch in their trunk. I just keep thinking about how this fits into the show's usual style. Usually, kidnappings on this show are a bit more elegant, like someone gets locked in a nice cabin with a fireplace and a tray of sandwiches. But this is gritty. This is messy. This feels different. Matt Clark is not a gentleman villain. He is a monster. And Patty is completely detached from reality. Putting those two together is like throwing a lit match into a fireworks factory. And what about Jack? We can't forget about Jack. Is he going to survive? I mean, of course he is. It's Jack Abbott. They aren't going to kill him off like this. But he is going to be in critical condition. And while he is fighting for his life in an ICU, who is looking for Diane? Diane is still locked in that weird barred room with the doctor. Lawrence Markham, who we're all pretty sure is actually Martin Laurent with a new face, though Diane is a hostage. Nikki is a hostage in a trunk. Jack is stabbed. The Abbott family is broken. The Newman family is in hysterics. What were the writers thinking? I mean, I love it. I am glued to my screen, but my anxiety is through the roof. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Victor. Honestly, no, I'm not. Victor deserves to sweat right now. He deserves to feel that sheer, paralyzing panic of losing control. He tried to play God with Nikki's life and her finances, and now he has to face the reality that he couldn't protect her from the real monsters lurking in the shadows. I am so curious to see how Adam and Nick are going to react to this. Nick has been trying to force Matt to remember his past so he could beat him up with a clear conscience. Well, guess what, Nick? Matt didn't have amnesia. He was playing you. He was playing all of you. Matt was sitting right there at the Newman Ranch, eating Victor's food, sleeping in a Newman bed, all while plotting to shove Nikki into a car trunk. The betrayal is just so deep. And Sharon, poor Sharon, he has been living in absolute terror, knowing Matt was nearby. This is going to send her into a complete tailspin. She knew Matt was dangerous. She knew he was faking, and nobody listened to her. So here we are, waiting for the next episode, waiting to see if Jack pulls through, waiting to see where Patty and Matt are taking Nikki. Are they going to an abandoned warehouse? A cliff? Are they going to demand a ransom? Or do they just want to watch Victor suffer? I feel like I've been rambling for hours, but I just can't get that image out of my head. The squeaky wheelchair, the doctor disguises, the blindfold, the trunk slamming shut. It is going to haunt me all weekend. I need to go lay down or maybe drink some water. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Victor will save her in time? Do you think Jack will wake up and point the finger at Patty? I will be back tomorrow with more updates, assuming my heart rate goes back to normal. Stay safe out there, Genoa City fans.